guys, today I'm going to be showing you two legendary tank builds. One of the tank builds is actually a standard tank build that you can use on the raid. So let me take you through both the builds. Okay, so on the first build, I'm going to be running 4 pieces of Foundry Bulwark. So that is the mask, the glove, the knee pads, and the holster. So when you have 2 pieces, you get 10% total armor. When you have 3 pieces, you get 1% armor regen and 50% shield health. When you have the 4th piece, you unlock a talent called Makeshift Repairs. Whenever you or your shield takes damage, 20% of that amount is repaired to both over 15 seconds. So my stats are my attributes. I have an armor core, armor regen, and protection from elites gear mod. For the glove, armor core, armor regen, knee pads, armor core, armor regen, holster, armor core, and armor regen. For my chest piece, I'm running the named Kiloguard chest piece, which gives me 5% total armor. And on here I have armor core, armor regen, explosive resistant, and protection from elites gear mod. So the talent is Perfect Vanguard. Deploying a shield makes it invulnerable for 5 seconds and grants 50% of your armor as bonus armor to all other allies for 20 seconds. So you're basically giving 50% of your armor to all your teammates, and the cooldown is 25 seconds. So every 25 seconds you can take out your shield and you will give your teammates bonus armor. For my backpack, I'm running a Bellstorm Armory backpack, which gives me 1% armor regen. I'm still in the middle of optimizing this piece. So on here I have armor, armor regen, explosive resistant, and a protection from elites gear mod. So the talent on here is Protector. When your shield is damaged, you gain 5% bonus armor, and all other allies gain 15% of your armor as bonus armor for 3 seconds. Cooldown is 3 seconds. So you're giving your teammates a lot of bonus armor. It gives your teammates basically a little bit of survivability, especially if you have DPS players on your team. They are definitely going to take some damage because they're going to be shooting out of cover most of the time. And this allows them to do or deal a bit more damage. But also as a tank build, you're going to be up front. So you're obviously going to get shot at. The enemies will be looking at you. So Protector is a good talent to have to give your team bonus armor. And because you're going to get your shield out, you're going to give it's not really hard to use. You just deploy your shield and get all the aggro. You'll be giving your team a lot of bonus armor. So for my skills, obviously it's going to be a shield. I'm using the Bulwark Ballistic Shield, and I'm using a Reviver Hive. So the Reviver Hive is good. You can choose whatever skill you want on here, but this is just sometimes I go a little bit too far into the enemy area and I might get surrounded and might actually get dropped. You are not invincible with this build, so there's a chance you will get dropped if you don't watch out. It's also, I like using the Reviver Hive in case one of my players gets dropped. I can use my hive to pick him up instead of one of my other players using their hive, because I have more of I have more survivability than they do. So I'll drop it, pick them up. Yeah. So for my weapons, for the 2 weapons, you don't really need to worry. It's whatever weapons you want to choose. But if you want to know, I'm using the Shield Splinter, which is a named assault rifle. This has Perfect Optimist. You can get this from this box here. You actually need 8 keys, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You need 8 keys. You need to kill 8 hunters, and you can unlock this, which gives you the special named assault rifle. For my secondary gun, I have the SIG MPX with Optimist, and this is the main weapon that you'll be using a lot. I never go to any of these weapons. I'm mainly using my Liberty pistol. So this has a talent called Liberty or Death. Hits grant 2% weapon damage, stacks up to 30 times. So that gives you a lot of weapon damage. And also this talent is so good for the shield because headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. So say your shield is going down and it's nearly broken, maybe a couple more bullets from the enemies, your shield is gone, it's obliterated. When you hit a headshot with this, just before it breaks, you will get all your shield health back for your Bulwark shield, which is actually really strong. But you do need to hit the headshot. This gun is really hard to control because it test it out yourself. It like moves right to left. It doesn't have the best aim, so it is a little bit difficult to hit a headshot. But you will be close to the enemy. You'll be close to the enemy anyway, so it should be easy for you to hit the headshot. So for my specialization, I'm using the Survivalist specialization just because it gives me 10% increased protection from elite, so that's really important. You want as much protection from elites as you can on this build. And also another bonus is I got incendiary grenades, so if you know where they spawn, you can just throw it in. If you would have seen it in the gameplay, I like to throw mine when I know a bunch of enemies are coming out from a certain spawn area. And it also, group members get 10% bonus damage targets with safe effect, so when you throw your incendiary grenades, they are going to be taking extra damage. All right, so the total amount of protection from elites I have is I have 13 here, I have another 13 and a 13 here, so that makes it 39. Plus I have 10 coming from here, so that makes it 49. So I've got 49% protection from elites. Okay, so this is the first build. So I'll take you through the next build. Okay guys, so let me take you through the second tank build that you can use in Legendary. This is actually my favorite one to use. I tend to go to this one more actually, and there is a reason why I like to use this one. Okay, so first of all, on this build I have the Catharsis mask, so this is the exotic mask. So on here I have a protection from elite gear mods, but what's so special about this is the talent. Okay, so the talent is called the Vicious Cycle. Taking damage builds stacks to a cap of 30. Each stack grants 1% weapon damage, so that's 30% weapon damage. Taking damage at max stack triggers a purge, removing all stacks and stays effect, and then drops a healing cloud which restores 5% of max armor for 10 seconds to all allies in the cloud. So once you take enough damage, you'll see below your ammo or below your thing that there's a stack building up, and once it hits max stacks, you're gonna see a green burst of cloud on the floor. Basically, it's not you'll be able to see it quite easily. It's bright green, so you won't miss it. For the rest of the pieces on here, I have 2 pieces of Richter and Kaiser. I've got, for one piece you get 20% incoming repairs, and the second piece you get 10% explosive resistant. So this build is catered around explosive resistance. So the 20% incoming repair is really good because when you have the cloud drop, it improves the amount of healing that it does towards yourself. So that means you have better healings, which obviously allows you to have better survivability. So on here I have an armor core, armor regen, explosive resistant with a protection from elite gear mod. The talent is Adrenaline Rush, so when you are within 10 meters of an enemy, gain 20% bonus armor for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. Because as a tank build, I like to play quite aggressive as a tank build. I like to go up close to the enemies, so this gives me a lot of survivability. All you have to do is run around in circles. You'll see it in the gameplay if you watch it. There'll be like 8 enemies. I'll just run around them consistently. They're trying to shoot at me, and the stack of Adrenaline Rush just stays because there's always enemies around me. So this is the first piece of Richter and Kaiser, which is the backpack. My second piece of Richter and Kaiser is the glove. So I've got armor, armor regen, and explosive resistant. For the chest piece, I have a Bellstorm armory chest piece. It gives me 1% armor regen. On here I have armor core, explosive resistant, armor regen, and a 13% protection from elite gear mod. On here I have unbreakable. So when your armor is depleted, repair 95% of your armor. Cooldown is 60 seconds, so this allows me to get a lot of survivability. Basically gives me an extra life. So when you're up close to the enemy and your armor is about to break, the difference between this build and the first one is that this doesn't have a good amount of armor regen compared to the first one. So this is, or having Adrenaline Rush and Unbreakable is what kind of gives you a lot of survivability compared to the Foundry one. But both tank builds are really good, but this particular one I enjoy using. For the rest of the pieces, I have improvised pieces. So the holster is improvised. The reason I'm using improvise is because I can attach a gear mod. So on here I have armor core, armor regen, explosive resistant, and a protection from elite gear mod. And the knee pads, exact same attributes: armor core, explosive resistant, armor regen, and protection from elite gear mod. So as you can see, I have explosive resistance on every single piece. So the amount of explosive resistance I have on here, unfortunately you can't be 100% explosive resistant, which sucks really, but I'm at 70%. So 60 from the build, and I think I'm getting 10% from the watch. Okay, so 60 from the build, 10% from the watch, and my protection from elites is 75%. I've got 75% protection from elites. So that is the 10% is also coming from the specialization, which is the survivalist specialization. So 10% is actually coming from there. Also, I'm using the same specialization as the first tank build for the exact same reasons, because you've also got the incendiary grenades, and when you throw them to a spawn area, your teammates get 10% bonus armor to those enemies if they are on fire, because incendiary grenades, sets them on fire. And for my skills, exact same skills: bulwark shield and a reviver hive. I've got the exact same weapons apart from the first weapon, but it doesn't really matter. So I've got FAMAS with Optimist, and I've got the SIG MPX with Optimist, and the same exotic pistol, which allows for my shield to stay up for much longer. So the Liberty. So this is pretty much the second build. You're gonna kind of struggle to get this piece here. This is a really difficult piece to get. With armor core, armor regen, explosive resistance, it took me such a long time to get the exact drop. It was such a pain, and you're gonna have a tough time. Maybe you'll be lucky, maybe you can craft a few and you get the exact right specs, but it will take a lot of resources to actually make this, because when you do craft improvise, it does come with really low stats, which does kind of suck. So this actually took a lot of my resources to get these fully optimized. But yeah, both builds are really good. I like to use the second one, which is this one right now, for most of my legendary, especially in the newer legendaries like Manning Zoo and Tidal Basin, because there's just so many explosion in the in those legendaries that I feel like with the first build with the bulwark tank build, I feel like there's less survivability due to the explosions, and this one actually keeps me alive way more often than the first one. But the first one's also really good. I mean, both are really good. It depends on what area of the mission you're going into. Depends which legendary. I'd say Manning Zoo and Tidal Basin probably have the most explosions out of the first three, the old school legendaries. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and hope you guys have a great weekend coming up. Peace.
Come here on this, have the play.
Don't get these fucking bugs out quickly. There it comes.
Now I'm healing you.
Not fucking minute. Do some. Get help from someone.
There's a support station on the right side. Can you name one of your skills on that?
Is there any help from up there?
Okay. Almost down. I'm down. Okay. Okay, I'm down. Okay, no.
Up it up already.
We walk down here.
Sorry to have everyone got shot.
Oh, yeah.
So every time I pick up ammo, I get shot.
The machine, the tank.
I see my boat picking up ammo. Run away.
Oh,
I mean, go
I'm stuck.
Go away.
I'm stuck.
The division takes some killing. Keep coming. Anchors in my sights.
There's a health on the floor. Oh great, I picked a health up as well.
Thank you, Leo. Picking up armor.
Where the fuck is it?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't come around, I can get it.
I don't see him from here.
Fuck around, man. Fucking danger, right? That fucking dog kept killing us, Army. You see it?
Yeah. Mini tank on the right side, right?
Yeah, it's fucking dug in there.
And you can't get to him.
Yeah, I know. fucking... Did you see that